If you're a teacher and you have ADHD, you already know the deal. You're in there shaping young minds, managing an entire classroom, juggling 1,000 different tasks, all while your brain feels like it's a web browser with way too many tabs open. That feeling of being totally, completely overwhelmed, yeah, it's real. And that's what we're going to dive into. Let's get right to it. All my life, I felt like a phony. Wow, that quote just hits you, right? It comes from someone with ADHD, and it just nails that feeling of imposter syndrome. It's that little voice in your head, the one that whispers that no matter how creative or smart you are, you're just one tiny mistake away from everyone figuring you out. That's the voice of perfectionism, and it's brutal. I mean, does it ever? That constant feeling that you're just acting the part, trying desperately to keep all the plates spinning, absolutely terrified that one is about to come crashing down. If that feels familiar, I want you to know you are so not alone in this. Not even close. Okay, so first things first, let's just sit with that feeling for a second. The daily chaos, the intense internal pressure to be the perfect teacher, the perfect partner, the perfect daughter or friend, it's not just in your head. It is real, and it is absolutely exhausting. So let's do a little reality check. Does any of this sound like your Tuesday? Spending what feels like 90% of your time just looking for stuff? Or, having 20 beautiful planners that you were so excited about, but you can't find a single one when you need it? And the procrastination. That mountain of essays that needs grading feels so huge, you decide to organize your pencils instead. You have brilliant ideas for 5 different things at once, but actually finishing one from start to finish? Phew, that's a whole other story. It's just this constant feeling of being crushed by it all. And then when you finally do finish one big thing, you're just done, like completely wiped out with zero energy left for anything else. And this quote, this just adds another layer to it, doesn't it? On top of all that internal chaos, there's this huge external pressure. Especially for women, there's this unspoken rule that you have to be this flawless, innovative professional, but also this selfless, nurturing caregiver at home. And when you feel like you're dropping the ball in both arenas, that guilt can just be crushing. But here's the thing. It's not a personal failure. It's an impossible, unfair standard. You know that feeling of failure we were just talking about? I want you to take a deep breath and just let it go. Because what you're up against isn't a lack of willpower, it's not a moral failing, it all comes down to neuroscience. It's not about your character, it's literally about how your brain is built. And this is just wild. Up to 90% of adults with ADHD might not even know they have it. So if you got your diagnosis later in life, or hey, maybe you're just connecting these dots for the first time right now, you're not behind, you are right on time, and you're in the majority. You've just been navigating a world that wasn't built for your brain. And nobody ever gave you the instruction manual. So here's the key thing to understand. In the ADHD brain, the frontal lobe, think of it as the air traffic controller for your emotions and decisions, it just tends to be a bit less active. It's like the volume knob on your feelings is just a little stickier, a little harder to turn down. It's just biology. I absolutely love this quote. You're just biologically less good at telling my emotions, settle down, biscuit. And that's it, right there. This is why a small frustration can feel like a massive catastrophe. It's why it takes you longer to calm down after you get upset. It's a real neurological thing called a slow return to baseline. You're not overreacting, it's just your wiring. Now, this analogy is a total game changer for so many people. It's the hunter in a farmer's world. Your brain, it's a hunter's brain. You're creative, you see connections others miss, you can hyper-focus like a laser on things that genuinely interest you, and you thrive on new, exciting things. But you're stuck living in a farmer's world. And let's be honest, the school system is the ultimate farmer's world. It's all about routine, predictability, and paying attention to stuff that isn't always interesting. So you see, you don't have a broken brain. You have a high-performance hunter's brain in an environment built for a farmer. Okay, so if this is all about our brain, what are we supposed to do? We can't just rewire it, but what we can do is change our relationship with it. And step 1 is telling that super harsh inner critic who's been running the show for way too long to take a back seat. And no, this is not about just being soft on yourself or letting yourself off the hook. Self-compassion is a biological hack. It's science. When you actively soothe your own pain, when you talk to yourself with the same kindness you'd offer a friend, your body literally releases oxytocin. That's the love hormone. It physically dials down fear and fights back against the stress hormone, cortisol. So being kind to yourself isn't fluffy. It's a legitimate stress reduction strategy. So how do we actually do this? Here are 3 really practical steps. First, Practice what's called detached awareness. Picture your anxious thoughts as leaves floating down a stream. You don't have to jump in and grab them. Just watch them float by. Second, challenge catastrophic thinking. You know, when your brain screams, if I mess up this lesson plan, my entire career is over. Stop and ask yourself, okay, really? What's the actual worst case scenario here, and what would I do to handle it? And third, reframe. Instead of pouring all your energy into making sure everyone else likes you, turn that focus inward. Make it your goal to like yourself, just as you are in this moment. All right, so once we start working on the inside stuff, we can start building an outside world that actually helps. The answer here is never going to be just try harder. No, the answer is to build supports, scaffolding for your brain that work with it, not against it. This is how you give those executive functions the backup they need. This right here is such a simple but powerful shift. Vague goals like, I need to grade those essays. That just feels huge and awful to an ADHD brain. But an implementation focus is a specific command. It tells your brain exactly what to do, where, and when. At 4 p.m., I will grade 5 essays at my desk with a cup of tea. See how different that feels? That kind of specific plan is like a secret cheat code to get started. Here are a few more amazing scaffolding tools. Try the rule of 3. Just 3 main tasks on your to-do list for the day. That's it. Manageable, right? Give everything a home. A hook by the door for your keys, a specific tray for papers that need to be signed. This seriously cuts down on that looking for things time. Use time blocking. Put your most important tasks in your calendar like they're appointments you can't miss. And finally, externalize everything. Your brain is for having ideas, not for holding them. Get it all out onto a whiteboard, into a notebook, whatever works for you. Okay, we've got our internal strategies, we've got our external supports, but what about other people? For a perfectionist and a people pleaser, this is usually the final boss battle. Setting boundaries with your colleagues, with your students, and especially with your family. There's this really common, really destructive pattern that can happen in relationships called the parent-child dynamic. The non-ADHD person, usually with the best intentions, starts becoming a manager, reminding, nagging, organizing for the other person. And it just breeds resentment everywhere. The parent feels exhausted and unappreciated, and the child feels incompetent and controlled. Just seeing that dynamic for what it is can be the first step to breaking it. So, how do we start reclaiming our energy? First, state your needs as facts. Not, gosh, I wish I could get more sleep. No, it's, I need 8 hours of sleep to be a functional human. Second, set your hours for work and for home. I stop checking emails at 5, or after 9 p.m. is my time to recharge. Third, when you explain this to others, frame it as fuel. This isn't selfish. This is you charging your battery so that you have energy to give to them. And finally, you're human. You'll slip up. A good, genuine apology when you make a mistake can work wonders to repair and reconnect. And this, really, is what I want you to walk away with. After all of this talk about the hard stuff, the overwhelm, the frustration, I need you to hear this truth. The very same traits of your brain that cause you all this trouble, they are also the source of your greatest strengths as a teacher. They are your superpowers. I mean, just look at this list. Your brain's divergent thinking, that's what lets you create lesson plans that hook the kids no one else can reach. Your creativity and imagination, they make your classroom magical. Your incredible energy and enthusiasm are infectious. Your deep empathy, which comes from a lifetime of feeling a little bit different, lets you connect with a student who feels invisible. And your willingness to take risks and your killer sense of humor, that's what makes your classroom a place where kids feel safe and seen and actually excited to learn. So I want to leave you with this one question. This journey doesn't start with throwing out your entire life and starting over. It starts with one small, compassionate choice. Maybe that choice is to leave the dishes in the sink tonight and read a chapter of a book just for fun. Maybe it's grading just 5 of those essays instead of trying to tackle the whole pile. Or maybe it's just telling that inner critic, just for today, to please be quiet. Whatever it is for you, what is that one small, kind choice you can make for yourself today?